Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise. As lightning to the children eased, with explanation kind, the truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind. Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. So the question I'm going to ask you generally is Dickinson right, in your opinion, in what she is contending in this poem? That you should tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Is she right, do you think? Do you agree with what Emily Dickinson seems to be contending in this poem? We have someone who's going to answer this. Who is it, Jamie Lee? Hannah Goldstein, a high school student. Hannah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Hannah, let's look at that first line together.
Yeah.
Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. What do you think she's contending?
I think she's suggesting that there is a certain amount of spin you can put on.
A spin? Wow, what a 20th century word.
Yeah, bring some slang into your little webinar here.
Yeah.
I think she's contending that that there's no obligation to tell things as they are. Because what's the fun in that? I mean, what would be the point of writing fiction?
So is Emily Dickinson advocating lying?
No, I think there's definitely a difference between lying and exaggerating or no, I would say warping, but I think warping has a negative.
Well, you've used two extremely negative words. One is warping and one is spinning. Truth is what, Hannah?
Maybe truth is more subjective than we like to acknowledge.
Okay, so so far this poem is about objectivity and its limitations, and you're saying that Dickinson is saying that sure, you should tell all of the objective truth, but but you can't really tell it that way. You have to slant it.
Yeah, definitely, and I think there's a certain amount of Eastern thinking in there, actually. Eastern
like Zen or Buddhist?
Yeah. Actually, I was having a discussion in my world religions class today about the Western ideal of objectivity of truth, and perhaps that's subjective in itself. But in a sense, religion or any abstract form of faith is a subjective truth. You, in a sense, get to choose what your truth is. Truth with a capital T.
All right. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Jessica.
Bob says, if we look at the New Testament example of Jesus, who called himself the truth, he used slant in that it is reported he spoke in parables.
In poetry or fiction, what's the equivalent of parables? Why would a writer, why would a poet speak in parables? What would that mean?
I mean, the allegory is very rich in its lessons, and I think there's a lot more that we can uncover in fiction. This is, I guess, considered allegorical by the author J.M. Coetzee. We just read "Waiting for the Barbarians" in English.
Okay, good. So you read an allegorical novel, and in an allegorical novel, there are two sets of things. There's an A and a B, and B is the discussion at the level of the allegory, and A is all the stuff behind it. So, for instance, for Animal Farm, you spend all this time looking at B, and you think, well, the pigs mean this, right? And you do that. So you do allegorical translation. One more question for you. She goes to the second line, says, "Success in circuit lies." Now, just think of Orwell and Animal Farm, or Coetzee in his novel. What does that mean, success in circuit lies? What does that have to do with what we've just been talking about?
I think that there is great insight to be gained from this sort of indirect approach, from circularity.
The sort of what approach?
This indirectness, this circularity.
Ah, good. That's great.
And I'm actually very intrigued that she used the word success rather than meaning, which would be a more obvious word.
Yes.
Success is, I think that's intriguing. You know, I don't know.
Success is a loaded word in American life. So after you hang up the phone, we're going to talk a little more about the word success. But you've said something very helpful, which is that she is advocating indirectness. And we could say, although I hadn't planned to go there, but you and Bob took us there, you could say that an allegory, that a parable, is a way of being indirect. And what is so revelatory, what is so astonishing, potentially, about Orwell writing about communism as opposed to someone writing about it directly, journalistically, descriptively, directly?
Well, you know, fiction engages us on a much deeper levels than real life. I mean, there's only so far you can delve into the meaning of, you know, sort of daily.
So what does it take to get us to see things freshly?
Well, since it's you know, I tend to think, I don't know if this is the case, that great writers like Arthur Miller writing The Crucible, for example.
There's another allegory.
Yeah, have that sort of meaning in mind when writing.
So let me answer my own question since you brought up The Crucible. The success of that story, which is about McCarthyism, or seems to be about McCarthyism, is to go at A by writing about B, Salem, and never really mentioning A and having everybody think A the entire time. Okay, so it's possible that Dickinson is saying the only way we're going to understand the truth is to go at it through other means.
Yes, through other means. And
okay.
In fact, I think this extends beyond, I don't know if this is the direction you'd want to take the conversation, but I think this...
We have no direction.
Okay, great, wonderful.
Success and
We're like
circuit
Rolling
lies.
Stones. Yes, that's right. Success and circuit lies, yes.
Lovely.
What we do here at the Writer's House is form. We want the form of our webinar to imitate the content of the poem.
Okay.
So thank you, Hannah, for calling, and I hope you'll visit Penn and come and see the Writer's House.